Any casual fan of jazz will recognize the name Miles Davis. As a band leader, the list of bass players that went through his groups is nothing short of legendary. From Paul Chambers, to Ron Carter, to Michael Henderson, to Marcus Miller. Today, I want to talk about one not mentioned nearly enough. The late, great Percy Heath. Quiet as it's kept, Percy Heath was one of the greatest bass players in the history of jazz. Coming from one of jazz's first families, he played on records with Cannonball Adderley, John Coltrane, Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz, Wes Montgomery. I mean hundreds of records. And most notably spent over 40 years holding down the bass chair for the Modern Jazz Quartet. He's legendary. On March 14th, 1954, he was part of a recording session that included Miles Davis, Horace Silver, and Art Blakey that included the famous song 4. They got to the end of the session and producer Bob Weinstock said, "Hey, let's turn off the lights and play a slow blues." After which, Miles said, "Percy, you walk a couple choruses up front." And well, this happened. Two magical choruses of the blues. 4 bars alone and then joined by the rest of the rhythm section. It's a masterclass on playing walking bass lines. Yeah, I'm about to geek out over some quarter notes. Damn, let's take a look at why these two choruses are so great and what we can learn from them. This is what we in the business like to call a grown folks tempo. It's common knowledge that the degree of difficulty goes up when the music is played faster, but it's also true when we slow the music down. This tempo isn't quite a ballad, but it's slow enough that every single note you play, every choice you make becomes really apparent. At this tempo, check out how wide his beat is and how much it's leaning back. He's playing legato throughout. He's absolutely not lifting his left hand up in between notes. Good, swinging walking bass lines are defined by long quarter notes that connect each beat. And if you listen really closely, you can occasionally hear him play a short note on beat 1. The ultimate way to ornament your line without having to play any extra notes. He makes every note sound even and easy. He's not digging in, and he's not adding any unnecessary accents anywhere. He's playing even and clear and relaxed, and that's what we hear.
The best sound of the bass that I learned was the pressure with the left hand and the balance between the pull with the right hand.
The highest note he plays is a C on the G string. He's sticking to the range of the instrument that has the most impact. He's playing the bass. This line is powered by quarter notes. Steady quarter notes. No ghost notes, no hiccups. Out of these two choruses, he plays eighth notes only 7% of the time. That's 93% quarter note. And when he does use eighth notes, he lands on the following downbeat. That's about as clear as you can get playing time. He's using chord tones on beats 1 and 3 and mostly moving in seconds and thirds. You can also hear him moving in one clear direction most of the time. There's a lot of B flat 7 in these two choruses, but he's not always starting on a B flat. Sometimes he's starting on a D, sometimes he's starting on an F. He's not just chasing roots, he's making lines, often just based on triads and their inversions. That was Percy Heath's concept. Play the most important notes and bring the big sound and the big beat. That's my concept of bass. That's what I knew. Back then with Miles and those people, what they heard in Percy is that Baptist beat that I had. Had a good beat. I didn't know too many notes, but I was learning. I didn't play too many wrong notes because I didn't know but 3 notes in the chord to play in those early recordings. There's a reason this man played on hundreds of records. He had a maximum impact on the music, often just playing a supportive role. The touch, the sound, the directness of his approach, and of course, that Baptist beat. Any jazz bassist that wants to get better at playing this music needs to check him out.